I had the ring for 3 months before I proposed. 3 months of carrying it in my jacket pocket. 3 months of almost saying something every single night at dinner. 3 months of believing I was the luckiest man alive. The camera I installed that same week had other plans. My name is Marcus, 29 years old. I work in logistics. Nothing glamorous, nothing that makes for a good story at parties. But I've always been the kind of person who shows up, who stays, who builds things slowly and doesn't walk away when it gets hard.
I met Claire 4 years ago at a mutual friend's birthday. She laughed at something I said that wasn't even that funny, and I thought, that's it, that's the one. We moved in together after 18 months, a small apartment on the 3rd floor with a window that looked out over a parking lot. She called it our view. I called it whatever she wanted. Her best friend since college was a guy named Derek. I want to be precise about that. Best friend since college. I knew about Derek before I knew Claire's last name. She mentioned him the night we met. He came up again on our first date. By the time we were living together, Derek was just part of the furniture. I liked Derek. I want to say that clearly, because it matters later. The first sign was so small I almost didn't register it. Claire started going to the gym at 6 in the morning, which was fine, except Claire had never been a morning person in 4 years. She once told me that people who wake up before 8 voluntarily couldn't be trusted. Then her phone started going face down on the table. Always. Every single time. She said the screen bothered her eyes at dinner. I nodded and passed the bread. Then one Thursday, she came home 2 hours late from a work dinner and smelled like a cologne I didn't own. I didn't say anything, but I started paying attention. I want to be honest about what I did next, because some people won't like it. I bought a small camera, the kind people use for home security, about the size of a USB drive. I put it on the bookshelf in the living room, angled toward the couch. I told myself it was nothing, that I'd check it once, see an empty living room, and feel stupid for the rest of the week. I almost hoped that's what would happen. I left for a work trip on a Monday morning. I checked the footage on Wednesday night from a hotel room in Cincinnati. I watched 40 seconds of it. That was enough. Derek had a key to our apartment. Claire had given it to him 8 months ago. I knew that. She said it was for emergencies, in case she got locked out, in case something happened. Something had been happening for a long time. I sat on the edge of that hotel bed for a very long time. Not crying, not angry, just very still. I closed the laptop. The air conditioner kept rattling. The room kept smelling like stale carpet. Outside, someone was laughing in the hallway. Normal sounds, normal night. Except nothing was normal anymore, and I was the only one who knew it. I ordered room service. I didn't eat. I watched the ceiling for a long time. And somewhere around 2 in the morning, the shock started to harden into something else. Something that felt, for the first time in a long time, like complete clarity. By the time I fell asleep, I already knew what I was going to do. I just needed to get home without showing it.
By morning, the shock had hardened into something colder.
Then I opened my laptop, and I started making a list. I came home on Friday, as scheduled, kissed her on the cheek, and asked how her week had been. "Fine," she said. "Quiet. Nothing interesting." I smiled and said I was glad. That weekend, while she was visiting her mother, I did 3 things. The first, I called my bank and opened a separate account in my name only. Every direct deposit from that point forward went there. The second,
I had the locks changed and told Claire the building manager had done a security update on all units. She didn't question it. She never asked for a new key for Derek. The third, I called a real estate agent. My name was the only name on the lease. I want to tell you about the ring. I'd bought it with money I'd saved for 14 months. I used to skip lunch twice a week and put that money aside. I told myself it was romantic, the sacrifice of it, the intention behind it. I returned it on a Tuesday morning before work. The jeweler asked if everything was all right. I told him yes. I took the money and put it in the new account.
That was the moment I knew I was going to be fine.
Claire noticed the distance before she noticed anything else. She asked me twice if something was wrong. I told her work was stressful. She seemed satisfied with that answer, which told me something important about how present she'd actually been. The conversation I'd been preparing for happened on a Sunday morning. She was making coffee. I was sitting at the kitchen table. I put my phone on the table, face up, and I pressed play. 40 seconds. That's all I played. She didn't say anything for a long time. Then she started to explain. Then she started to cry. Then she said Derek meant nothing. Then she said it had only happened a few times. Then she said I had invaded her privacy with the camera. I let her finish. Then I told her, very quietly, very clearly, that the lease renewal had not been signed, that my name was the only name on it, that I had spoken to the landlord the previous week, that she had 60 days to make other arrangements. Then I picked up my phone, put it in my pocket, and poured myself a cup of coffee. She called Derek that afternoon, from the bedroom with the door closed, not knowing I could hear everything through walls that thin. I heard her say she needed a place to stay. I heard a long silence on her end.
I was in the kitchen, not moving, not making a sound, just listening to a woman find out, in real time, that the man she'd burned everything for had someone else waiting at home. There's a specific kind of silence that comes after that kind of news. Not quiet, loud in a way that has no sound. I recognized it. I'd been sitting in that silence for 8 days. I didn't feel satisfaction. I want to be honest about that. I felt something closer to recognition, like watching an equation finally balance. Everything that had been crooked, going level.
Then I heard her say, "What do you mean you can't? And I thought we were, and Derek, please." It turned out Derek had a girlfriend, had for 6 months. Someone none of us knew. Someone he'd been very careful to keep separate. I found that out later. I didn't need to, but I found it out.
I moved into a new apartment 8 weeks later. 2nd floor. Bigger window. No parking lot view. I kept the Monday ritual of putting money aside, except now I wasn't saving for a ring. I wasn't sure yet what I was saving for, but it felt important to keep the habit. Claire moved in with her sister. I heard through mutual friends that things with Derek didn't go anywhere after that. I didn't ask for details. I went to Portugal in the spring. I went alone, and I ate dinner alone every night, at small tables near windows, and I didn't mind at all. The ring is gone. The apartment is gone. Derek is someone else's problem. And Marcus is exactly where he's supposed to be. Some debts collect themselves. You just have to be patient enough to watch.